Okay, let's talk about this. Imagine taking a single $100 bill and turning it into $1,000 in just 30 days. Sounds like a gimmick, right? Like one of those late night infomercials. But this isn't about luck. It's not some get-rich-quick fantasy. We're about to unpack a proven step-by-step blueprint that you can actually follow.
So the big question is, can you really do this? And the answer is a huge yes. But, and this is important, it all hinges on two things: having a rock-solid plan and completely changing the way you look at that first $100. This isn't just some textbook theory. Okay, this is the real-world strategy that smart entrepreneurs use to get started, and we're going to lay out the whole thing for you. But here's the catch. You really need to hear this. The plan itself, it's actually pretty simple. The hard part is that there's one specific point in the journey where almost everyone fails: day 15. It's like a giant psychological wall. And knowing that wall is coming and knowing exactly how to smash through it, well, that's the real secret to finishing this challenge. All right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of how to do this, we have to start with your mindset. Because how you think about that $100 will absolutely determine what you can do with it. Seriously, this part is the foundation. If you get this wrong, the whole thing just crumbles. It really all boils down to this one key difference. On one side, you've got the consumer mindset. You see money, you spend it. Poof, advantages into coffee, new clothes, whatever. But on the other side, you've got the investor mindset. They see that same money as a tool, like a little worker bee that can go out and make more money. For the next 30 days, that's you. You are an investor. And here's the little mental trick you have to play on yourself. That $100, it's not for pizza. It's not for a night out. Nope. For this challenge, it is your seed capital. Think of it like a tiny seed that has the potential to grow into a massive tree. If you protect it and nurture it, it's going to grow. That right there, that's the entire shift in thinking. Okay, mindset locked and loaded? Good. Let's get to the good stuff, the actual blueprint. This is the actionable day-by-day playbook that's going to take you from that initial 100 all the way to $1,000. So here it is, the entire month at a glance. Week 1 is all about research and planning, doing our homework. Week 2 is build and launch, where we create our money-making machine. Week 3 is the hustle. That's that critical make or break week we talked about. And finally, week 4 is scale and multiply. That's when we pour gasoline on the fire. So let's dive into week 1. The first 3 days are so important. And the best part, they cost you $0, just a little bit of time. First, you're going to list out some skills you already have. Then you're going to play detective on sites like Fiverr or Upwork to see if people are actually paying money for those skills. And finally, you're going to size up the competition. Not to copy them, but to see what's working and how you can be different. Okay, now it's time to spend a little bit of that seed capital, just a little. We're talking 20, maybe $30 on tools that make you look like a pro from day one, something like Canva Pro. Then, and this is key, you're going to build 3 packages: a basic, a standard, and a premium. This is just smart psychology. It makes your standard offer look like an incredible deal. All right, buckle up. We have arrived at the most important, the most challenging part of this whole thing. Days 8 through 15. This is the grind. It's going to feel slow, the results won't be huge yet, and this is exactly where most people get discouraged and just walk away. This week, your mission is simple. Land your first 3 to 5 clients. That's the only goal. And you're going to attack it from 3 different angles. A small ad spend, a ton of personalized pitches, and I mean it, no generic copy pasting, people can tell, and you're going to hit up your own network. You're just trying to get that big, heavy flywheel to make its first tough turn. Now, here's the reality check. After all that work, you might only have $150, maybe $300 to show for it. And your brain is going to scream at you, "This isn't working." But listen to me, it is working. You're building momentum. The platforms are just starting to notice you. You have got to trust the process. If you survive the hustle phase, congratulations, welcome to week 3. This is where the fun starts. You take half of the money you made and you pour it right back into the system. You go back to those happy clients and offer them an upgrade. You start automating things to save time. This is where your money and your effort start working for you. And now, the final push to the finish line. Week 4 is all about ruthless efficiency. You figure out what's bringing in the most cash and you double down on it, hard. You create urgency, you bundle your services, you do everything you can to maximize the value of every single opportunity before that 30-day clock runs out. Okay, so you have the playbook, you know what to do.
But, well, that's only half the battle. Now, we need to talk about the common mistakes, the landmines that will absolutely sink your ship if you're not careful. Let's just be direct here. Knowing the do's is great, but knowing the don'ts can be even more powerful. So what are the traps that pretty much guarantee you're going to fail this challenge? Here are the 4 big ones. First, spending money on shiny objects you don't need, like a fancy website. Second, underpricing yourself. Working for pennies is the fastest way to burn out. Third, and you know this one, quitting before week 3, right before the momentum really kicks in. And finally, not tracking your numbers. If you treat this like a hobby, you'll get hobby results. You have to treat it like a business. So let's say you do it. You follow the plan, you avoid the traps, and you hit that goal. You've got $1,000. Awesome. But what's the real takeaway? What happens after day 30 is over? There it is, $1,000. You made it happen. But believe it or not, that cash, it's not the most valuable thing you're walking away with. Not even close. Here's the real prize. It's not the money, it's the system you just built. You've just proven to yourself that you can take an idea, apply a strategy, and generate income on demand. That skill, that repeatable machine, is worth so much more than the first $1,000 it ever made you. And it all comes down to this powerful idea. True wealth isn't about some lucky one-time score. It's about building systems you can use again and again. It's about finding a pattern that works and running that play over and over. And guess what? You've just spent 30 days building your very first one. So now the ball is in your court. The blueprint is right here. You know where the traps are hiding. Your 30 days, well, they start the second you decide they do. So the only real question left is, what will you build?